strength, there won't be military strength. I've gone on too far here. Mr. Tonko, let's begin to wrap this up.
Yeah,
and,
in fact, I will offer my closing comments here. Representative Garamendi, you know, I think what you talk about in choices are exactly what a budget is about. It's the priorities we establish in a bipartisan fashion, a bicameral way, that enable us to go forward with the best blueprint that grows the most hope and promise for this nation. If we can deliver that hope, we've done our job. This is about investing in the American dream. It's about responding to that old adage within this nation that you tether that American dream here in this wonderful nation where people rightfully anticipate that if they play by the rules, they roll up their sleeves, they invest their talents and their skills and their intellect and their passions into work, they rightfully anticipate to taste success, and that allows them to have an equal shot at opportunity in this nation. That has not been the guiding force. We have had an unlevel playing field. We have made choices that have penalized the great percentage of Americans. 95 to 98% of Americans have been impacted by some of these choices and priorities to the negative. And so it's important for us, I believe, to offer that dream, that American dream, the underpinnings of support that it rightfully requires. The cost of a college education ought to be addressed by Washington. We need to forcefully come up with a plan that reduces that cost, because that higher ed opportunity, those apprenticeship programs are training the workforce of tomorrow. And without that workforce, without that human infrastructure, we are less robust in our competitive force. What about the investment, as Representative Garamendi mentioned, in infrastructure? What about that infrastructure bill that has worked well in sections of the globe? Why not go forward with that opportunity so that small business can prosper in that outcome? The great engine of this economy, of this comeback, has been small business growth. Jobs provided by those business citizens who are tethered to the community, who have enabled women and men in all sections of this country to draw a paycheck through some sort of commitment that they make as a small business person, giving that work opportunity to their neighbors and to the communities that they call home. That's the strength that we need for small business, so that we can continue to be that engine of comeback. That comeback scenario is incredibly valuable to this nation. And what about going forward with the commitment? There's a soundness of that moral compass that should guide us. Forever there will be those who require justice in our society, economic and social justice. We're reminded by our founding parents that we're in search of a more perfect union. Well, the imperfections need to be addressed by those priorities that are established by us, the people's representatives in this House and in the Senate and in the White House. All of us working in a bicameral, bipartisan way to put aside petty partisan differences, to put aside personality warfare, and make certain we go forward with an agenda that is truly all-American, driven, ignited, and lifted by the American dream. Our days, Representative Garamendi, that lie ahead hold great promise, great hope. I'm convinced that our best days lie ahead if we allow history and science to instruct us and to reach our hearts, our souls, our minds as we go forward with the development of a budget that will be sound and reflective of all of America, with every one of her daughters and sons reflected in those decisions. So I thank you for bringing us together this evening.
Mr. Tonko, thank you very, very much. Indeed, our best days are ahead of us. Even in the dismal days of the Great Depression in the 30s, Franklin Roosevelt laid it out very clearly when he said, "The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide enough for those who have too little." When 95% of the wealth that's been generated over the last 5 years winds up with 1%, we got a problem, because the economy isn't going to grow. And what will happen is this: hunger in America. Later this week, we'll take up the nutrition bill for this nation. And there are those who want to remove $40 billion from the nutrition programs for our children, for our seniors, for those that are unemployed, for those that are searching for work. We can do better. We really can. The best days are ahead of us if this Congress and the Senate, together with the President, work together and lay out those plans that have informed us historically that they work. Investment. Investment in those things that make America strong. Infrastructure, research, education. Those are things that are timeless and work year after year. There are also things that have recently been reduced and cut. We can't let this happen in America. We cannot allow that to happen. Mr. Speaker, with that, I think it's time to yield back.
The gentleman yields back. Under the Speaker's announced policy of January 3, 2013, the gentleman from